using a 6-pound ball, bowling as fast as you can, and then immediately bowling at a medium pace. Hope that thing lifts up. You feel like God. If that thing lifts up and your ball goes through right away, you can knock down 3 pins. You feel like an angel. I open my closet, pull out the bag, bowling balls in it. Forgot about it. It's cracked. You know, I wept and wept and wept. All I could think about were all the fucking memories I had with that beautiful, beautiful ball. And buddy, I want to tell you about some of those memories. You've been crashing here for 3 months now, I think. I haven't asked for one dime from you. You haven't done the dishes. You haven't thrown away the trash. You don't even throw away your own trash. Even when I buy you food, I gotta go clean it up. God knows you haven't lifted one finger towards applying for a job. I don't give a shit, man. I love you. Now, how about you sit down in this dark basement we hang out at every night? And in fact, even though the TV is on full brightness, it feels like the brightness is at 2%. Barely see a goddamn thing. Now sit your ass on this blue couch. I'm pretty sure it's blue. 3-seater. Stretch your legs out. I'll give you the biggest seat. And watch and listen. The first story I wanted to go over for bowling. This is my oldest memory. For some reason, this is my oldest specific memory. All of them as a child, I can remember they were always on military bases. They were always friends. They were almost never friends whose family was in the military. They somehow had a military card because of someone else. I don't really get it. Why does every military base have a totally empty bowling alley? Not sure. Pretty lit. It was cheaper. The parents always talked about how it was a good price, a good deal. Oh, it was always like a 40-minute drive, kind of a movie. The first real good memory I have of a bowling alley was I had these two buddies in middle school, and they had a friend from elementary school they were like best friends with. They had told him all about me, and they said, "Hey, you should invite Ricky to your birthday party." He said, "Yeah, they invited me. Was going to a bowling alley. Turns out it was me, those two friends, and one other friend. So I was in the top four without meeting the guy before. It was fun. I'll be honest, don't remember the bowling game at all. I'm sure I did terrible. If I had to guess, I remember as a kid I loved using the little handicap ramp. That shit's kind of a movie. Feels like you're playing. You're more like playing Wii bowling at that point. It's lit. But the important part, the fourth kid was some Hispanic kid. I think his name was Juan. We bowled maybe 3 frames. Then he left. We were like, "Where did Juan go? Where the fuck's Juan?" We start bowling for him. Maybe something's up. Maybe he's diarrheaing. I don't know. The birthday boy's parents are there. They don't care either. Um, like 15 minutes later, we walk around. He became friends. We're in middle school. He became friends with just grown ass adults. He was just at this table, hanging out, eating chicken wings. God knows he didn't have the money for the chicken wings. He greeted us like he bumped into us when we got to him. He's like, hey, how are you guys doing? I was like, what the fuck is going on? This friend group is awesome. Uh, so that's one of my earliest memories. I'm realizing the more I talk about it, was really the bowling alley was the environment, less so than bowling. That was also the first time I played air hockey without paddles. It was a puck that was cut up everywhere. It was me and one buddy just smashing as hard as we could with our hands. Just non-stop. Just non-stop slamming it. And I was a pussy. Well, I don't know if I was a pussy, more so not dumb or not competitive enough. However you want to skew it, I was not trying to get my hands cut up. That dude, though, he fucking cooked me. He was body blocking with his hand body, every damn shot. I'm sure I lost by an astounding amount. I think there was an arcade. That's pretty much that story. I just really like the whole wand thing. Because imagine being, how much swag do you gotta have to be 13? It was two couples. It was two grown ass men, two grown ass women. All four of them beautiful. I remember that. They were fucking gorgeous. So yeah, that was Kitty, what you sing about? That was sorry, my kitty cat over here, he likes to sing before dinner. He's going meow, meow. That was before I really got into bowling. I kind of feel like I was born in a bowling alley, how much I just like the alley itself. It's the sound, the slickness, the ambiance, the music that's always a little too loud, the employees who don't want to be there, the low ceilings, the flashing light. It's all perfect. So it was after college when I started making money and I said, "What the fuck am I going to do with this?" Well, let's go bowling, fellas. So I started going. I probably only went like 4 times and then COVID hit. But it was during that period I found the most important technique across the board for having fun for myself, for making myself laugh, for making everyone a bit uncomfortable, for making employees sometimes dislike me. Using a 6 pound ball, bowling as fast as you can, and then immediately bowling at a medium pace. Hope that thing lifts up. You feel like God. If that thing lifts up and your ball goes through right away, you can knock down 3 pins. You feel like an angel. You feel, I don't know why I downgraded myself from God to angel. You feel magnificent, superfluous. Uh, that's not the right word. Yeah, so that's where I discovered that strategy, and you'll see there was a lot of growth over the years, kind of emphasizing the growth of the game and enjoyment. You know, some buddies they hate because when you do that strategy, yeah, a lot of times you kind of just slam into the guard thing that goes down when it picks up the balls, makes a very loud noise. Very often there were situations where there would be 3 balls sitting in the gutters because they would just slowly roll into them and they had no momentum, so they couldn't move. Sometimes that was a cool play though. Someone would actually hit a ball that was in the gutter and then it would bounce and do something useful. Once, I remember that happening one time. I don't know why I made it sound like that was a constant thing. During that era, the only real memory I have is there was a group of like 6 of us, 5 or 6, 6 or 7. Topical joke, 6, 7, a little late, but 41. That's the newer one. A child came into our lane and he just started bowling. I was like, hold up. I probably said hold up, but I'm pretty sure everyone was immediately on board. Hey, let this kid fucking do his thing. Started bowling in our lane. Parent came and was like, hey, oh no, I'm sorry. This kid fell, just straight fell on the ground. We were like, no, no, no problem. He can keep bowling here. I mean, ideally, the dream was, can this kid bowl for all of us? And then it's like watching, a melee CPU tournament, watching just computers play against each other. If he bowls for all of us, who's going to do the best? A lot. I like gambling, saying that out loud. But he bowled. He managed to sneak over again from his parents and bowl another time. fell again. And geez Louise, he wasn't happy about it. I think my bowling career would have gone differently if COVID hadn't struck. I think I was finding a stride. I was probably averaging like 105, 110 during those days. So a coworker recently told me she and her fiance went bowling together for the first time ever. They both bowled like 60s. So 105 like kind of made me feel good. I immediately was trying to get her to go bowling with me. Uh yeah, COVID, no bowling. As soon as that ended, I started going down to another city where a couple buddies lived very frequently. And they lived so close to a bowling alley, walking distance from a bowling alley. We went there often enough that the bartender remembered my name. Okay, well, the bartender remembered my name at the second time I went there ever. And I think she was being pretty flirty with me. She was definitely older, but I feel like older women like to flirt with me. Also, she was kind of in she would tell me, she'd be like, "Yeah, I had to drive my husband to work today. So now I got fucking late here and blah blah blah, and my manager's mad at me." I was like, "Why you gotta drive him to work?" "Oh, he just got his second DUI." Fucking kind of a lost flame situation there. That yeah, we'll stay on the topic of that bartender. I loved running this move at bars, and I really recommend this. It works in a lot of ways. You have to do it when it's not very busy. You know, you're at a bar and there's like three other people there, and they're all slowly drinking. Yes, bartender, hey, can you make me the worst drink you can? One, it's fun. Two, and I never did it for this reason, but I did it enough that I realized this almost always happens. You get a free drink. Either the worst drink ever is the free drink, or they're going to say, and I'm going to make you a good one. And they're never that bad. Except at this bowling alley, I asked the woman, hey, can you make me the worst, Tanisha? That was her name. I asked Tanisha, hey, can you make me the worst drink ever? She was nervous about it. I was like, come on, just whatever. Like, she was, I don't know what I would do. And then, some bartenders do that. And then I give them a hint and I say, you can't use this one. If I was to do it, you are getting tonic water with a splash of tequila. Less than a shot of tequila. It's just tequila flavored tonic. And then she got nervous. She was like, oh, I bet my manager would love to do this. I was like, all right, bring him over. By the way, it's in the middle of a bowling game. I stepped away. It was like five of us bowling. I got to go back. I'm just getting a drink. Manager comes over. He's like, what's up? I asked him. He looks through every goddamn thing behind the bar, and I see him pull out a big thing of pineapple juice, and he says, oh, I think this is expired. This is perfect. I was like, what the I straight up was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Nah, can I just get a Moscow Mule? What are you talking about? You can't just make me a normal bad drink. They didn't make me anything fun. I think I did probably just get a Moscow Mule or a beer. Anyways, Tanisha, I'm sure you're listening. Miss ya, bestie. All right, but let's get back to bowling. Was going there plenty of times. And me, it was two buddies living together, walking distance. So us three went a lot, and then we would invite over some other people sometimes. This is probably where I really upped my average score from 105, 110 to like 115 to 120. So kind of big leagues. It's fun and all, yeah. And by the way, still doing multi-ball all the time. That's also where I learned that I was bowling really strange. I was bowling like underhand. So when I would put it when I would bowl, I would put on backspin still feels most natural to me. Stop doing it at some point. Still sometimes go back to it. Besides the point, jumping the gun there. The most important part of this era was the learning about renting a lane for an hour versus renting a lane for X amount of games. If you get everyone on board, you can pump out like 5 games in an hour. You can get and an hour is equal to like in price like 2 games, I think. Something like it's worth hey, all y'all go to the bowling alley and play not to hang out and have fun and to talk, not even to score well, nothing. It's just quantity of games. You're gonna get such a bang for your buck. And so we grinded the fuck out of that. My buddy, Carl, he's got this fucking wizard orb bowl I learned about. Holy fuck. It's pretty magical. I think he was averaging at that era like 116 to 121. So a little better than me. So that was in essence that era. I believe that was the first bowling alley where I saw they had a bowl speed thing on the monitor. That's also where we learned about changing the backgrounds and themes so you get different animations. This was at a Bolero, the chain. But the bowling speed, that shit I wish so badly worked well. Because you grab one of those 6 pound balls, hurl that shit as fast as you can. Fuck. I don't know if y'all been to one of those driving ranges like Top Golf or Screwers or whatever the fuck other parts of the country got them called, where they got little chips inside the ball so they can track on a screen. Air time, that's the stat. You want to just go as vertical as you can. Anyway, that's pretty adjacent. Though the bowling thing doesn't track. Very disappointing. Kind of think about going into business for that. I think I could start my own bowling alley that's all about stat tracking, with score being the least important score track. I think I'm kind of brain. So I said I've been thinking about. I'll be real. First time I just thought about it. I think there's a lot of potential here. You know how many times it's spun, which direction it's spun, how many balls you get stuck in the gutters, how many times you hit the thing that comes down to pick up the pins. I think I might scrub that from this episode. I would cut off that part of the story here. I don't think much else significant happened during that era, from what I can remember. The next thing is we were constantly talking to another buddy about us bowling. He lives in Chicago. I'm like, hey, motherfucker, I'ma come visit you. Go to Chicago first time. He picks me up from the airport. It's like 9 p.m. All I can talk about are the Chicago hot dogs. I know, a little off topic, but just bear with me. Chicago Bears? I heard from my Japanese coworker they're doing pretty good this season. Vaguely, so I'm not certain on that. But we're driving. Oh, can we get a hot dog? I'm so hungry. Can we get a hot dog? I see a 7-Eleven. Bag him. Go in. It's just a standard big bite. I put on some random toppings. Insist it's Chicago style. That shit tastes the same as here. It's nothing special. Chicago dogs and all that. Next thing we do, let's go bowling. We get to a bowling alley, 9:30. I think a random weekday. Like it's not the weekend. Two security guards are outside with hand metal detectors and scan us top to bottom, bottom to top like twice. We go in, that
Just
shit's
put your
empty.
toast by the well there. I
Uh,
don't have your
we
side
start bowling.
story. I want to be on nothing.
We wanted to get a beer.
Oh, I know. Tell
No
me,
bars are
Dad.
open. Later, we
And
see people coming out
tell
with pitchers
Dad.
of beer. We explore the whole guy. No idea where they're
Oh,
coming from.
tell them I love them. And
We're
find
bowling.
out.
I've never been to a louder bowling alley with less people. I've never been to a louder bowling alley, but I've also never seen one that empty. The only people who we saw bowling, there was people kind of just drinking in the back from maybe they were bringing their own pitchers of beer. I don't fucking know. Uh, the only people bowling were in like 2 lanes from us. It was like 4 black girls who were probably teenagers who were so hyped about my boy. They were watching him, cheering for him, complimenting him. I didn't get shit. I didn't get a goddamn single fucking ounce of praise. They played Scruggy Ground. I don't know what it was called. They played Scruggy Ground. Hey, fond memory. I'm sure this translates well to you, buddy. Uh, just trust me. It was a pretty legendary night. We also, holy fuck, I just remembered. We also got hot dogs at the bowling alley. So good. It was actually delicious. It was the best bowling alley food I've ever had. Though most bowling alley food I've had is at chains where everything tastes like the picture, like paper and cardboard included. So that was pretty lit. That buddy, he was averaging way higher. He was probably averaging 135, 145, pure natural. I've been bowling like 20 times in the past half year. He hadn't gone in years. And he fucking cooked me. All right. And the next era of bowling, and at this point, I'm pretty experienced. I'm probably bowling. Fuck, I probably bowled 145 one of those games at some point. Moved to a new city with. I'm. Wow. Me and all of the buddies I've listed have really been connected through bowling. The first two from middle school, one of those was the one in Chicago. One of those was one of the guys in the other city. We all moved in together with also the other guy from that city. All four, wow, we've really been lifetime bowlers. This has been fucking eye opening, man. And it's all thanks to that cracked ball. So we all move in together. In the first week, we find the bowling alley. There are two equal distance ones. We start grinding them. After one or two trips, I realize, hey, why don't I look up bowling shoes? Why don't we get two into this? Now, this is the real cheat. Any of you listening, if you think you're going to go bowling 3 times in your life, order some bowling shoes. They're like 15 bucks. You immediately save money. You can get way funnier looking shoes. I'm sure they're better than the bowling alley shoes. They probably fit better. They're probably a little less gross. They're more just they pay for themselves. I'm kind of like the Dave Ramsey of bowling. That joke, we can workshop that. Hey, let me know if you can figure out a way. Dave Ramsey bowling. Yeah. You want to pay. You don't want to be indebted. You don't want to borrow. You don't want to borrow shoes. No, but I'm just giving you more ingredients. You know what? You can figure it out. Anyways, we're going bowling all the fucking time. We got our shoes. We all got our own goddamn shoes. It's lit pulling up to bowling alley and saying, no shoes though. Just the lane, 2 hours. Time us. Do not give us limited games. By the way, timer trick. I think I could be wrong here. I'm pretty sure they let you finish your game. So as long as you start the last one with like 10 minutes or 15 minutes left, you get extra time. effectively. So we're bowling all the time. You know, Carl's doing the orb. I'm doing the underhand, slamming into the shit over and over again. And every time we invite other people to bowl with us, they say, "Hey, can you not do that?" And I say, "Okay, uh, I'll do it a couple more times, but I'll slow down. I'll slow down. It depends, you know, if I see how much it's." I'm an empath, a little evil, but I really was getting the hang of it though. The throw two balls, throw one a little slower, like medium speed, and then throw one fast and hit them against each other to do a perfect split double gutter ball at the same time. Oh my fucking god, it's beautiful. We were grinding that shit. And then on like the fifth trip out there, I said, hold on. They got a bowling ball store in here. Why don't I fucking go get one? So I went and it was like $120 for a bowling ball. For them to measure my hands and then cut the holes, I swear to God, it took this guy like 40 minutes of measuring my hands over and over and over again, saying I got weird hands, something strange about my hands, calling his I don't know if it was his manager, but he kept talking to him like the other guy was superior. And then the other guy was like, "Yeah, these are fucking weird." And I was like, "What's weird about them?" And they would just be like, "They just fit around the ball strange." I don't know, man. I feel like my hand they're not weird. I've brought that up with a lot of people. No one It's like my well-defined balls. I heard that. No one can tell me why they're well-defined. But I end up with this ball, not that comfortable. I'll be real, not very comfortable to bowl with. Was not a big fan. Switched from underhand to overhand. And one game I bowled, I think like 182. That's fucking crazy. A 182? My average is still, it probably bumped up to like 130 for a little bit there. If we were taking bad nights into account, like if I drank a little too much, if there was one night a buddy invited some of his coworkers out, and I was like, hell yeah. Well, actually, I think it might have literally been one coworker and his roommate who was from France studying. And all I did was ask her the most generic questions about France and like quiz her nonstop. And then just kept insisting to the other dude that my buddy kept talking about wanting to bring a P90 to the office. I don't know if that guy was very fond of that joke. It's always fun to drink a little too much and embarrass yourself with that kind of joke, and then just keep sinking yourself into it. I think he was having a good time. Because I remember being embarrassed after and asked my buddy, he was like, "Nah, you're good. That's a fucking insane joke, but you're good." And then so we bowled. Another problem with having your own bowling ball, it feels really dumb to use any other ball. So rather than the normal process of, oh, you find a few balls you like, you bowl, you pick up another ball you like, it's the other people's turn. You fucking bowl, then you gotta wait like 30 seconds. And at that point, you're totally cooled down. The warm up didn't do anything. That first, it's, first serve in tennis, second serve in tennis. They might as well both be first serves. I think it's worth an investment if you can get like two or three bowling balls. Because I also was missing using those 6 pounders. There was times where I was just like, fuck it, I'm using a 6 pounder. The ball though, it was clearly nice. It felt real solid compared to any of the bowling alley balls. That getting caught in the gutter, that feels terrible. Like getting stuck there, having to walk between the lanes yourself until someone who works there comes up and says, "Hey, you can't do that." And then I have to play dumb and say, "Oh, I was just getting the ball." That ball cracked. And now that I'm talking about it the way I am, I don't really care. It was also a hassle to fucking carry like a 15-pound ball into a bowling alley along with 4 pairs of shoes. Yeah, I think even if I was rich, I wouldn't get more bowling balls. Think even if I was fucking if I do you think Drake would understand me, first of all? But second, if I had Drake money, I bet Drake don't got bowling balls. I bet he's more likely to pay the bowling alley to buy better balls. That's what my guess would be. But yeah, that was my kind of my lifetime with bowling. And the other day, I moved into this apartment. I haven't bowled since I moved in here like 9 months ago. And here's the worst part: bowling alley, 1 minute walk, maybe 2 minute walk from me. Haven't gone once. And even crazier, they got the pitching arcade machine where you just pitch a baseball as hard as you fucking can. My favorite one. It's so sick. It's just, hey, how hard can you throw something? I haven't been there once. I walk by it all the goddamn time, and I keep saying, "Hey, oh, we should go there," to everyone. Hey, we should go bowling. We should go bowling. Nah, I got my bowling shoes locked and loaded. They're prime and center in my closet. Man, life is full of regret. I moved the bowling ball when it was here. It wasn't cracked. I moved it to a different closet. It wasn't cracked. I moved it to another closet. I thought it wasn't cracked until I went to go adjust some shit. Perfect crack all the way around. I kind of want to get a hammer and chisel it open, see what the core is like. But I don't know if I could do that, you know? I really don't know. Maybe you guys think you can taxidermy a ball? Hmm? But I digress. Those are some tales I had about bowling, buddy. I can see you fell asleep during all of this on the long blue, maybe black, maybe brown, could be dark green couch. I'm gonna turn this game off. I'll bring you a blanket. You don't gotta get up. And you sleep tight.